Alright people, time to cover some more chapters. Like and subscribe for more. We are right where we left. Sushi chef is challenging the sashimi chef. Boss wants Gama to show his skills right now. This commotion scares our waifus and rest of customers wonder if there's going to be a fight. MC is annoyed and thinks that this boss got keen ears. Considering how shit his Korean is, this boss understood Giama's insult really well. And so Gama gets up. Saki asks him, what is he going to do? Both chefs stare at each other. Boss addresses Gama as Joken Academy, and states that he has been a monsieur for 12 years, and if MC is better than him, they get free food. Gama affirms the challenge. Chef, being a cocky piece of shit, thinks that MC is just a young kid, so he's just trying to show off in front of his friends. Boss plans to give Gama a flounder fish, to teach him a lesson. Boss is ready to start and tells MC that he is going to use a flounder, but Gama stops the boss and demands a red snapper. Boss is confused, so Gama points to the red snapper that's already on the cutting board, and so MC starts walking towards the fish. All the while boss is telling him to stop. Knox gives a sharp stare at Gama, and tells his boss that they should just watch MC for now. Boss starts shaking in anger, and with his broken Korean he asks if Knox is crazy, because an outsider in the kitchen could cause trouble, and he asks if Knox even know how fucking much a red snapper costs. As a mere server, Knox doesn't really want to say it, but he tells his boss that he can count on Gama. Chef now approaches the fish. Chef takes off his coat, thinking that it's been a long time. Gama is about to pick a sashimi knife, and with that, the blessing of the sword god is activated, and within seconds Gama plates a finely cut red snapper sushi. Seeing this masterclass of sushi making, boss drops to his knees and admits defeat. Every customer starts looking at Gama and wondering if he's really that good. Boss with his head down states that in his 12 years of sushi, he has never seen skills like this, so he begs Gama to take him as his disciple. MC goes near him and tells the boss, better not do that, and tells the boss to get up, but boss insists that he was rude, and he wants to call MC his master. MC tells him to just get up. He won't make him a disciple, but he could give him some advice. Hearing this, boss quickly gets up, ready to take notes. MC holding the sashimi knife but not with his whole hand, so the blessing doesn't activate, tells the boss that his skills aren't half bad, but he could make the use of the knife a bit better, and he tells the boss to try using a blade made for a left-handed person. Left-handed? Boss asks, yes. Gama replies, and states that from the cut he saw that boss has too much power in his right arm. The fish flesh was mushed, so switching knives will improve his output drastically. The rest he'll understand in a few more years, so MC doesn't need to tell him. Boss notes down everything. Boss thanks MC and he really wants to call Gama his master. MC asks him if he remembers the bet, which means they eat for free now, but because MC gave him advice, so the right thing would be for the boss to pay MC. Man, Gama is acting all smug. Boss agrees with his new master. Gama now raises up the knife and announces that after discussing with the boss, he has decided to treat all the customers here for free, and so everyone thanks MC, and so MC starts preparing sushi for everyone. Customers are amazed to see this masterclass chef preparing their food. Gama seems to be really enjoying himself. Chloe is amazed to see Gama making such happy expressions. Even Saki is amazed and happy. Weapon gets up to help out. Saki asks where is he going, so Weapon states that with the club president so excited, how can they just sit by? Waifus get up to help as well, but suddenly Chloe sees Knox's shadow and gets scared. Seeing her all scared like this, Knox offers to teach her. Waifu smiles and thanks her brother. Gama is now standing outside the kitchen, I guess, thinking that it was supposed to be a club party, but he couldn't resist, but it only took him 50 seconds to prepare 3 fish. MC thinks that after cutting demonic beasts and people, cutting into fish feels refreshing. MC wonders if he should run a sushi restaurant after graduating. Knox now comes outside, so Gama asks, weren't you busy? Knox now tells us that the ingredients for today are all done. Boss said he'd take care of the rest, plus Giama's friend is helping with the waiting, and Chloe told him to talk to MC. Gama gets straight to the point and asks why he is working all of a sudden. Knox starts shouting that it was Gama who told him to work a real job, there he might learn something. MC remembers that he did say something like that. Knox can't believe MC forgot. MC is impressed that Knox really does things when he sets his mind on them. Knox, trying to act all cool, tells MC that he isn't doing it to follow Gama's advice, but he does admit that there is something to be gained from real labor, and that's why Knox is curious, so he asks Gama how to deal with drunk people and annoying customers. Gama smiles and tells him everything from his experience. After listening everything, Knox is tired, and states that the more he talks with MC, the harder it gets to believe that they are the same age, so Knox asks if MC is lying about his age. Gama tells him that he's just experienced. Assassin now calls out to the chef, so Gama asks if he has any more questions. Knox now tells us that normally leaking their family matters to outsiders would be a grave sin, so he tried to get Chloe to tell MC, but she wouldn't pick up the phone. so Knox now states that the Auditors have finished looking into MC's background, and they couldn't find anything suspicious, and so the elders' request has been cancelled. In fact, they are actually investigating the Council of Elders as a result, because the Auditors seek to keep justice, not to be someone's hunting dogs. Soon they'll have a record-breaking investigation squad ready, and it'll proceed quite cautiously. Knox has decided to participate in it as well, and so he just wanted Gama to know. MC thinks that Auditors will no longer target him, and if the assassins have decided to target the Council of Elders, so it'll cause some commotion. But that's none of his business. Gama now puts forward his hand and thanks Knox. MC knows it's not easy to tell him all this. Knox looks at his hand and shakes it, telling us that he didn't do much. In fact, he should be the one saying thank you, but Knox stops because he's said too much. MC smiles, thinks that Knox's relationship with Chloe seems to have improved. Suddenly MC stops Knox and asks if he knows Hannah. Knox asks if MC means San Hannah. MC tells him that she has just joined their club. So MC thought Knox might know her because they are in the same class, and yes, Knox does know her, and he tells us that she sits alone and reads all the time. Not much to note, though. There is one thing: she is always at the very middle of the class. MC asks what does that mean. It means that whether it is theory or real combat, her performance is always right in the middle. It's hard to even do that intentionally. Knox is surprised that Gama is showing interest in someone else. Just what kind of a guy do you think I am? Annoyed Gama asks. Knox is about to say something, but MC senses something. It's the angry boss and he yells at Knox to help close up. Boss notices that Gama is also outside. He goes over to Gama and thanks MC for teaching him so much, and he offers MC a great-looking knife. MC gets angry and tells him that a knife is a chef's life, so he shouldn't give it to another person so easily. Boss now tells us that this knife does not match him. He used to believe in knife, but now he knows that a real master cares more about skill than tools. If that's the case, then MC won't refuse the gift, but he tells the boss to stop calling him master. MC checks the knife and it looks crazy expensive. MC notices that the knife is crafted more like a weapon. This reminds MC of his first teacher, who told him that masters don't rely on gear, yet he loved his expensive knives. Chef remembers that his master told him that a good knife is like a family. Giving it a name is a ritual of decision, and he named his knife Turbo Sashimi Machine. Boss asks if MC didn't like the knife. MC tells him that he was just thinking of a name to give it. Gama thinks about his in-game family name, which is Seori-kan, and so he named the knife Everfrost, and thanks his in-game parents as they disappear from his phone and his memory. Scene shifts back to the academy. Now we see the sexy demon instructor Kim with a bunch of other demonoids. Some guy thanks everyone for coming today, even though they were busy. Some guy asks if the hooded guy is the whatever who called them here. Yes indeed, he is the professor. Next chapter starts with everyone staring at this mysterious professor, and so this guy asks why this professor called them here. Does he even know what they are even dealing with? Mystery professor smiles, and then he starts laughing like some One Piece villain. Others ask if this professor has gone crazy. Why did he start laughing out of nowhere? Professor finds it cute that these people are still drunk on their newfound powers. Hearing this insult, one guy who was talking too much enters his demon mode and charges at the professor, asking him, what the fuck did he say? Seeing this guy charge, Professor realizes that this one guy serves the 4th General, Permersh, and he states that Earth attribute magic isn't very common. This random guy starts muscling up, and asks WTF is this professor talking about, and that his hands have been feeling dry, and so this hulking beast is going to coat them with the professor's blood. Panel looks great. Kim gets horny looking all this. Some other guy yells at the Hulk to cut it out. They are causing a scene here. But this Hulk knockoff doesn't give a fuck about whoever it is, he's just going to kill them, and so he is about to grab the professor, but with a wave of his hand and some Fire Force sound effects, Professor completely obliterates this bastard. As the Hulk falls, Professor tells this bastard that he doesn't deserve this power. Everyone is shocked. Professor proves his power with this sample, and he states that this would suffice for his introduction. Professor asks now if everyone was fine with moving on. Kim realizes that this power is from the 2nd General Quorn. Professor now calls Kim to come forward. Professor now tells us that being a teacher for so long, he's gotten used to calling people students, and he tells everyone that sexy Kim will explain the details. Kim now gets all serious. Kim gets straight to the point, and tells everyone that unlike the rumors say, her master, Ager, did not die to the Sword Emperor, but instead Ager died at the hands of a single student, and his name is Leon van Reinhardt. The next hero. Scene shifts to I guess the cafe, and Giamma is seriously scribbling something. He's writing about the reality and dream factors, the elders, female instructor, GM etc. MC thinks that things are getting more important. MC is deep in thought, thinking that the pinnacle of noble greed is the Council of Elders. They treat even the Auditors as mere pawns, seeing as they requested the killing of a student without any proper justification. They really thought of Auditors as their hunting dogs, and thanks to their mistake, MC just gained the Auditors as an ally. MC remembers that this was the part of the reason parties that sought to weaken Leon disappeared in the game later on. The Council of Elders got caught scheming things by the Auditors. MC seems to be in a similar situation. MC thinks that the Auditors shed human blood instead of Leon. That's the mercy of the devs. But what about MC? He's in more trouble than Leon. But now that the Auditors are on the job, Gama should know the truth soon. Now the one left is the mysterious female instructor. MC did get more info from when Agar talked, and she told MC that she got a contract with her because of her whining. Thinking about whining, MC wonders if Agar was pretty two-faced. MC now wonders about the purple hair, and two-faced. Gama remembers that villains could change their appearances easily in the game, so MC shouldn't treat this as absolute. MC realizes that the two things these villains cannot change are their eye color and sex. MC has no idea how will he find her at this rate, because there are limits to his sword god blessing sensing abilities. Most importantly, MC lacks knowledge of magic. MC wonders what to do. Should he just wait, or try to learn magic? But suddenly MC realizes that he scribbled something unconsciously. Gama shuts his notebook and starts balancing the pencil on his lips, wondering since when has he actually studied. MC is thinking about to go for an unexpected attack. Now is the time for him to be brave. MC thinks about visiting Professor Damien. I guess this Damien is that ultra-powerful professor we saw earlier. Now Weapon and Saki come in, yelling at each other. Saki tells Weapon to stop getting excited over tiny things. Tiny things? Weapon asks, Hannah and Chloe follow them. Weapon asks Saki if she has forgotten what day that is. MC asks what's wrong. Angry Saki sighs. But before she can say anything, Weapon shoves her to the side and tells us that it's going to be July 7th soon. MC remembers that June 7th is Giama's birthday. MC tells Weapon that he doesn't need to do anything, but suddenly Weapon shouts and tells us that June 7th is the day Baylor Joaquin sealed Leakin. Wait. So MC could either be Baylor or Leakin, right? Weapon now asks if Giama was trying to say something, but MC tries to act cool and says nothing. Saki is like, so what? Weapon needs to stop making a fuss. Weapon, like the greatest showman ever, yells that's not all. And we are told that the strongest assassin known as the Old Man of the Mountain, Alter Auditore, the next master of the Iron King family, Malan of the Iron Lyxra, and the pride of America, likely to become one of the 7-star heroes, all mute, are participating in the Joaquin Academy Festival. Man, Weapon is way too excited for this, and so Weapon suggests that they should get some club stuff done, to keep media happy. Saki yells that Weapon just wants to enjoy the festival. He needs to stop lying. MC is annoyed by all this mess. Hannah seems to be busy in her book. Chloe now asks if Gama has any plans, and no, he does not, all blushing now. Waifu asks if he would, bam. Weapon slams his hand on the whiteboard, interrupting Waifu, and suggests that they should make a tasting booth, because Gama is great with a knife, and this could be a great advertisement for their club. This completely enrages Chloe. She gets up with her menacing aura and box cutter, ready to chop Weapon. Boys are scared seeing her, but Saki is happy. MC thinks that he needs to save Weapon's life, so he tells Weapon that it's a good idea. Hearing this, both waifus are like, what, even? Our healer is confused. Saki can't believe it. She yells that she had no idea that MC was interested in such vulgar display of power. Waifu asks if Gama really wants to show his face to the higher-ups. MC thinks that Saki is the closest to power out of all of them. MC de-escalates things by stating that he doesn't have a goal or anything, but if it's the break, they'd just been clearing dungeons. Until then, they don't really have any opportunity to have fun. More importantly, they might not have much time to enjoy festivals. Gama is about to say something about the future, but suddenly he stops and Saki asks, what does he mean, not have much time? Man, Saki looks stunning here. Gama realizes that he unconsciously thought of what would happen in 3 years with the second human-demon war. MC can't believe he made a mistake like this. Gama has gotten too comfortable around these people. Waifu now gets in Giama's face and asks if he's privy to some information, just like last time. Both waifus are pissed at MC. Gama thinks and tries to telepathically tell Weapon that this is getting dangerous. Weapon gets the message that Gama is in trouble. Worried for MC, Weapon suggests that he would make a poster, so he draws a weird dog and asks how is it. Everyone is annoyed to see it, but Hannah is all in for it. In fact, she joined after seeing Weapon's poster. Weapon thinks that Gama now owes him one. LOL. Saki yells at Weapon and is like, fuck that poster, and she tells Weapon to stop getting in her way. Saki has been thinking about it, but now's the time to set things straight. What's the deal? Weapon asks, to which Saki responds that this club has too many sailors at the keel, and so they are going to make hierarchy in this club, so that Weapon won't say dumb shit again. Scene now shifts to Saki's house. It's going to be Saki versus Weapon. Weapon is looking forward to it, and tells Saki to not regret it when she loses. Saki, while stretching and in her archery attire, states that if Weapon wins, she will never go against him again, and she'll go along with his plan for the festival as well. While Chloe is happy and Hana seems interested, Gama can't believe how this happened all of a sudden. Next chapter starts with Weapon and Saki facing each other. With his magic flute, Weapon is ready to show who's clearly more useful to Gama. It is hard for sexy Saki to just let that comment slide. Weapon knows that Saki's main weapon is a longbow, and because they are not in a subspace, so she can't even shoot, so Weapon just needs to keep his distance, and stack debuffs. Hana starts the fight. Weapon is ready to play that shit. Saki quickly grabs his longbow and jumps to the side. Weapon jumps back on seeing that Saki went for his longbow. He wonders if Saki would actually fire, but as long as he debuffs her properly, he could win. But Saki is like, fuck that, and jumps at Weapon. Weapon can't believe this long-range fighter is charging in. He is sure that at this distance his blessing will definitely work, but, bam. Saki uses her longbow as a bludgeoning weapon, and smacks Weapon right in the ribs. Waifu was fully locked in, and not to mention pissed as fuck. Poor Weapon is sent flying through the door. Gama and Chloe are completely shocked. Hana is weirdly enjoying this. Waifu now calls out to Gama, and states that he's done judging now. Right, man, what a beautiful panel. MC is dumbfounded. We now see Weapon still playing his flute and recovering his HP. Scene now shifts to 4 days left until the festival, and it seems like the whole club is studying. Everyone is doing better than Gama expected, and well no, they are not studying. Chloe is the kitchen assistant, and she is happy cooking a cute egg with a heart shape. Hana is in ingredient purchasing and management, and again with her middle finger she tells MC that she ordered kimchi, pork shoulder, and all the vegetables is listed, enough for 3 days. Scheduled to arrive the day after tomorrow at 3 p.m., Weapon is panicking because he is managing operation and general affairs, and because he finished the booth rental but now he has to deal with chairs, tables, and gas setup. When am I supposed to finish all this? He yells. Saki yells at Weapon to shut it. He lost, so we better just do it. Now we shift to Saki and she is the PR, admin, and design head. Waifu was annoyed that she has never gotten her hands wet, and now kimchi stew? But she won that duel. Club president tells Waifu that it was his decision, and that's why she's helping him out. Saki is like, shut up. MC now thinks that if they worked on a sushi stand, it might have turned into a one-man show. More importantly, the festival is long, so his 50-second painlessness blessing won't be enough. Chef remembers that he's never really properly enjoyed a festival. He's been working since 17. He never had that kind of leisure. MC wonders if that's why he was weirdly drawn to the mobile game Miracle Blessing M, maybe because secretly he hoped for a boring, normal life. MC remembers that it all ended around second year, when the demons notice Leon. MC thinks that the last festival he'll ever have at the academy, but he is interrupted by Hana, who asks why does he look sad, what is he thinking? Smiling Hana states that MC is acting like as if this festival is his last. Gama gets annoyed and wonders if Hana read his mind. Man, the translation is not good in these new chapters. Hana now asks if MC remembers what she said when she joined the travel club. MC asks what was it. Hana is like, if he doesn't remember then forget it, making Gama even more confused. Gama now looks at Weapon panicking, so he tells Saki that he's stepping out for a bit. Waifu asks where is he going. MC will tell him later, and tells her to handle things here. Saki seems worried. Scene now shifts to the green hair professor, pouring some tea from this awesome looking kettle. Someone get me this kettle set. Gama is at the door and Professor invites him in. Man, that cup looks so good. Professor states that he was just brewing some tea, and tells us that it's black tea flown directly from Russia. The aroma is quite exquisite. I think that Professor already knew MC was coming. That's why he got everything ready. Gama tells him no thank you. He has a black tea allergy. MC is smart. He probably knows something might be mixed in the tea. Professor accepts his reasoning, and lets it be. MC now asks about something else beside the professor. Professor tells us that this tree-looking thing is a sample he obtained by chance recently. It looks like a stone, but traces of mana flow through it. Professor asks if Gama is interested. He can give him a piece. MC is like, nah, it's fine. Professor now tells us that he's glad that Gama came to see him, and he tells him to ask what he's curious about, and the professor will answer as sincerely as he can, and MC wants to ask about what he previously mentioned. May the blessing of the god be with you. Professor remembers the topic. It bothered him too, so he did some research, and it looks like he found something. Professor opens the book and tells us that he went all the way to Russia to get it. MC can't believe he did all that because of him. Professor tells him that MC gave him the lead, but he was curious too, because scholars are like that, and as a PhD scholar I can relate to
That professor thanks MC and states that there's something more important. As he mentioned in class, academia classifies blessings into 4 tiers: archspirits, guardian spirits, elemental spirits, and soul spirits. It's a classification by the entity that grants the blessing. These spirits are transcendental yet inevitable beings. Professor now asks if Gama remembers the last thing he said before, and yes, MC remembers that there are no deities left in this game world. Professor compliments Gama's memory, and he asks if Gama would be interested in becoming his disciple. MC is like, no thank you. Chef has no intentions of pursuing academia. Professor is heartbroken to hear this, but anyway, he sips his tea and states that the weakness lies in that statement, and so Professor invites MC to look back at the mythic age together. Story starts in ancient times of unknown origins, when countless deities existed, and that era was called the mythic age. The gods there were not spirits or transcendents like the ones they know. They had no emotions, no mind, no body. They were beings closer to the pure concepts. Gama asks about concepts. Professor tells him that this tier is different. Spirits were fireflies before the sun when compared to deities. These were absolute beings, free of mortal limits, but even they could not escape death. MC is still confused, so Professor tells him that the highest power, the strongest deity, brought that age to an end, and that was the sword deity. Hearing this, MC is like, what the fuck? Professor now shuts the book and tells us that the phrase, "May the blessing of the god be with you," was a saying from humans, just after the mythic age, used to revere the sword god and pray for power. Professor now asks if that answers MC's question. Gama now leaves the office, and it feels like he gained something, or maybe not, but still, MC can't believe this professor flew to Russia over one thing MC said. MC wonders if he took too much and gave nothing back, but he really doesn't like that Russian black tea. MC now checks himself and realizes why he has been feeling suffocated, and the reason his sensory range felt smaller was because he didn't bring his sashimi knife. Those knives are like his spider sense. Gama is feeling very weird without his knife, which means that he's definitely changed. Scene shifts and we are back with the club. 4 days left until the festival. D3 the club is getting things ready. D2 they are doing festival costume draw. All the girls get made outfits, but Princess Saki is pissed. D1 and they are cooking some oding or a hot pot I guess. Saki is being shy while the rest are looking forward to this dish, and it's finally D-Day. MC looks at their booth and thinks that in the roughly 20 years he's lived with a knife in his hand. Chef revived countless restaurants. Chef was like Gordon Ramsay in his real life. MC always refused payment, seeking out shops that could collapse at any moment. But it wasn't philanthropy, like with that Korean sushi. It was simply for his own satisfaction. A single sashimi knife sounds the signal of revival. It's embarrassing, but Chef sees it as his own kind of romance. MC admits that his edgy middle school syndrome just arrived late, probably because of his first master. Anyway, the gang is here. Girls even have matching bow ties. They look so cute. 10 minutes left until opening. Everyone knows that serving food for money isn't something to be taken lightly, but there's no need to be so tense. They just need to do as they practiced. Saki smiles at MC, and Gama smiles back, thinking that this might be their last festival, and since they are doing it anyway, might as well enjoy it. Alright, see you all in the next one.